Facts.
But let's go to the next segment, man. The next one. And we are going to talk about Mr. John Morant. Quick recap from the whole situation. Of course, June 16th, Adam Silver he laid down the hammer on Mr. Morant, and as of that, he was suspended 25 games for, of course, multiple violations with the guns, the blicky, the stick, the pole, the blammo. You said what?
Nah, hold on. Since when did the stick become something? That's the second time I've heard it now.
The stick?
I've never heard people say the stick before.
You ain't
until
never heard
like
the
2 weeks
stick
ago.
before, bro?
Really?
Bruh.
You ain't never heard the stick.
No, I've never heard of the stick because it's
What,
not gonna stick.
whitewashed?
It's a horrible name.
Then what do you call a gun? How do you call a gun?
The piece? The Glock?
Oh nah, you call stick way better.
I thought bro was about to say a firearm.
A firearm is better.
Stick way better. But yeah, as I was saying, he got 25 games and he will fulfill a league sponsored program that will address the things he did over the past few months. So with that being said, how do you guys feel about that? And should Ja deserve to get more or less games for his suspension?
I actually thought Adam Silver cooked on this one. I really did. I thought that this was the perfect amount for two different reasons. One, how many games was it? It was 25, 26?
25.
25. So next year they have the eligibility requirements for All NBA, where you have to play a certain number of games. And if Ja's missing this 25 games, he's not going to make All NBA, which means he's not eligible for the Supermax. So I think that that's a huge thing that Adam Silver kind of incentivized him and like kind of punished him, because now I think it's reported that he makes like 50 million less. But the flip side of that I like is like, you're not punishing the Memphis Grizzlies, right? Because if Ja misses half of the season, then the Memphis Grizzlies are messed up. They're not going to have the chemistry in time for playoffs, and we're not going to be able to watch the best basketball as basketball fans. And so if you punish Ja for the 25 games, then one, you only punish Ja because it's hurting his bag, which at the end of the day, we can agree or disagree. I personally find it fine. And then on the other side, you're not hurting the Grizzlies because I think 60, 55 games of Ja is enough for them to build that chemistry and momentum towards playoffs.
Owen, your thoughts?
So Matt, I agree with a lot of what you said, but that being said, I think Ja pretty much just got a slap on the wrist.
50 mil a slap on the wrist?
Yeah, I do think that's it. You violate your contract with the NBA more than one time. I think there should have been a bigger penalty like from the get go. But now he's done it multiple times. He's proven that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, Owen. I agree with you 100%.
Facts.
Right? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Was it okay? I was lagging a little bit.
We lost you. We lost you when you were saying he deserves more games, and then we couldn't hear you. What your why?
Yeah, so I think he deserves more games because of the fact that did y'all hear how I talked about the fact that he's done it multiple times? He's a repeat offender.
Ish.
So you do it more than one time. That proves that you don't really care, right?
Mhm.
And so that happens, and you're like, oh, you're sitting there, and you're chilling, and you're like, oh, I got a little slap on the wrist. I can do it again, no issue. That's not going to change, or it didn't change him once. You think this little 25 games? That's only 17 more games than he got originally. Do you think that's going to change him that much? His statement was almost a carbon copy of the statement he released after he got suspended for 8 games. I don't think he's changing a whole lot, which I think if you would have given maybe half the season, I think that could have been better.
I don't know though. I mean, what's the difference between 44 and 25 games though, or 42 and 25 games though? Like, I understand that he's missing like 20 more games, but is there really that much of a difference what goes on in Ja's mind? Because 45 or 25, he's still getting the 50 million off.
Yeah, but the difference is now the Memphis is going to suck.
No, they're
not going to. No, I know, and they obviously have a good record when Tyus Jones is there. But they're not gonna. If Ja's gonna be their starting guy moving forward, they're not gonna have built that, like you said, that chemistry. So it comes into the fact that they're gonna get Ja back. If they were to suspend him longer, they were gonna get Ja back. They're only gonna have half the season to work out the kinks with him in the starting lineup, opposed to Tyus Jones. And that's going to just be an overall penalty to hopefully make Ja realize that, dang, I need to tighten up if I want to go somewhere.
That's my thing. That's the reason I liked it. Like I understand where you're coming from, and you're saying like if Ja gets suspended for 40 games, then the Memphis Grizzlies won't be able to build momentum or chemistry in time, and then basically this year's a wash. But me personally, I don't like that. Like I understand Ja has made his mistakes, but I don't think Desmond Bain should have to pay for that. I don't think Taylor Jacobs, who's one of the best coaches in the league, should have to pay for that. Like as far as we know, and as far as everything has come out, like no players 2 through 12 were not at a club in Denver. Players 2 through 12 are not on their stories posting guns. So like I understand you want to penalize Ja, but I think you have to find a balance so you don't penalize the rest of the team who have acted completely normal and completely fine during this like crazy time.
All right, but hear me out though. You have that, and that's
Boy, I know.
And we got two people, not one, but two people with horrible Wi-Fi today, man.
yeah. But I don't know what's up. I don't know what's up.
Just-
But no. What I was gonna say was that you think from a franchise position, I think his teammates and coaches would rather see Ja become a better version of himself moving forward than short-term success that might not even lead to a whole lot.
But that's my question then. Is like, does the 44 games really guarantee long-term success over the 25?
I think it could, because if you're penalizing, okay, from Ja's, you gotta step into Ja's shoes here. You're penalizing him, but in turn, that's penalizing the team. Hopefully,
Right.
that's like, oh shit, I fucked up, you know. Like I don't want to see my boys have to suffer through this with me if I do it again, you know.
Well, clearly he does not care about that.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you would have given them a longer one, they would have suffered a lot more than they have in previous instances.
I don't know. I mean, but that's my thing though. That like I think that the Grizzlies could have beat the Lakers this season, but one they had all like the shenanigans going on midseason, and then they didn't get the chemistry to build up, and so as a 2 seed they lost to the 7 seed in the first round in 6. Pretty like all the games that they lost were by blowouts except for the one in overtime where LeBron went crazy, and it's like right after the offseason, then the second instance happened on the IG Live, and it's like if that doesn't change you, then what's supposed to change you? Because they already had an early first round exit. They already had an early first round exit.
Sure.
They already had an early first round exit. So I'm saying another early first round exit. We don't know if that's going to mean anything. But what I am saying is like the 25. At least look, Ja has Nike. I think already said they pulled away his shoe, and now he's losing 50 million. Ja literally said like a month or two ago, oh, I want to be a billionaire by the time I'm 30. All this stuff is not helping it. None of this is helping that. So it's like if he really wants that, if he really wants to have the generational wealth, like I don't know what needs to happen, but something's got to happen.
That's the thing. But it's playing on how hypothetical. Does he really want that, or is he just talking? Whereas you give him a longer suspension, I think that's a more surefire way to make him realize that I can't do this again. You know, I can't go through this again.
We haven't heard your thoughts.
I just want to let y'all talk for a minute here. It was a very interesting conversation, but
I know, but I'm interested to get your perspective on it.
Right. So, with the amount of games that Ja got suspended, start off there. I think, and wait. So initially, I was like, he should have got like half the season, 41 games. But I looked more deeper into it, with the NBA suspension history over the years. And I found out the fact that there have been only 5 guys that were suspended more than around like 40 or more games. So I'm gonna list the names real quick and tell you guys like what they did. So Javaris Crittenton got 38. Gilbert Arenas got 50 games, for what they did in the locker room. Moving on, at 3, Latrell Sprewell, he got 68 games for choking out head coach of the Warriors at the time, PJ Carlesimo, during practice, and hitting an assistant coach as well. Number 2, Ron Artest got suspended for 86 games for, of course, the mouse at the Palace and that whole thing that went down. And at number 1, OJ Mayo got suspended for basically 2 seasons for drug violations as well. So with that being said, I think you're going to say something, Matt?
I was gonna say this. When was the latest suspension? Like, which one was the most recent suspension?
I think the most recent one I can remember is Aiden for his drug use.
But Aiden only got like 20 something games, right?
Oh yeah. Did Miles
Because
Bridges
that's what I was gonna say is Adam Silver became commissioner in 2014, and like I think that this is the most he's ever punished somebody. I think that 25 is the most games he's ever suspended somebody. I might be wrong.
Well, Donald Sterling too as well. He gave him the
Yeah.
lifetime ban.
When Donald Sterling was whooping out some punishment, but Donald Sterling would have gave Ja the 41.
Yeah. Okay, so Miles Bridges, I do remember. This April this year, Silver gave Bridges 30 games for his domestic violence incident.
And that was like an actual crime. That was like some brutal stuff.
Yeah. So, as I was saying, right, for the amount of games he got, for the stuff he did that technically wasn't a crime, I believe with Memphis, their gun laws, it's open carry, so he didn't commit any federal issues. He didn't have anything with the law and stuff like that. So I thought that in of itself was okay. I thought that was a fair suspension. Of course, with the All NBA scenario, he does get to lose millions of dollars, which the average person can say, "Oh, well, the man already getting paid like what 9 figures? He already multimillionaire, bro. Money's still money. 60 mil is still 60 mil, man, for anybody. So I do agree with that part as well. I'm just looking at Ja himself in the situation, with his camp and the video he put out about him use like with the gun and like how he was trying to like hold it to the candle. Did you guys see that video?
No.
Okay, yeah. So it was him, right? And he didn't show his face in it, but you could clearly tell from his tattoos and like his voice when talking that it was him. And so what he did was that he held the gun to like an unlit candle, and then he lit the gun with the candle to prove that was like a fake.
Oh. I don't know. I don't really believe that fake gun story, if I'm being honest. Like,
No, that's
because
stupid.
because literally, like, Ja had the second incident happen on the IG Live, right? He comes out the next day and apologizes, issues a huge statement. What, like a month or two go by, and then all of a sudden we hear it's a toy gun? Like if it was a toy gun, why would you not say that from the beginning?
Yeah,
Like, why
it's
do you
like
let all the why do you let all that uncertainty? Why do you let all that commotion
yeah.
arise? And then you stay silent, and then a week before Adam Silver is supposed to make the decision, then you want to release that.
Yeah, that's just like what's his legal team supposed to do, you know? Like that's just like their last ditch effort. You know, you could easily and it doesn't his boy on the IG Live who was hosting the IG Live, he knew right away when he panned the camera to Ja to turn it right back. He's like, "Oh shit." So I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, facts.
If that was a toy gun, it would have panned over and Ja could have been like, "Oh, look, see here? It's not real."
Yeah. No, I agree.
But the way
I
he
agree.
was toting it and everything, it's definitely not. I don't buy that story one bit.
Dibo, I also like. I kind of disagreed on one thing you said, which was, or here, how about this? Let me restart. I agree that it's not illegal for Ja to like have a gun because it isn't. You have a Second Amendment right. Memphis, as you said, is an open carry state. But what I will say is kind of what Charles Barkley alluded to, which was when you're a star, especially the caliber of Ja Morant, and you get this brand new shoe deal, and you're supposed to be the face of the league to come. You're this high flying guy. Like there are rules and regulations that apply to you that don't apply to the normal person, and it's why LeBron has had so much success. It's why Steph Curry has had so much success in the NBA. because these guys are high like value, high character guys who they've been in the spotlight LeBron's been in the spotlight for the last 20, 25 years and nothing bad has come up with him.
Yes, Jules. Delonte
Okay.
West.
Well, Delonte West was a wild situation, but that wasn't even him. That wasn't even him. That was just his mom. But like with Ja, like this is like literally him physically doing it, not once, not twice, not 3 times, maybe 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, and I do agree with you on that part. As Ja's status, as it is, he's one of the biggest stars in the league, one of the most marketed stars in the league. A lot of kids, they look up to him as a character and even like as a role model for them to potentially get into the league. With basketball and the whole sport. And so I do agree with you on Ja, his mistakes in the past, right? And him being better as a person. I do agree with you with that on that part.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know though. It's like I remember not even 5 months ago, we were talking about like the Memphis Grizzlies in the conversation with like the best young cores. And now it just seems like they have more question marks than answers.
Yeah, for sure.
True.
I mean, you really do hate to see it for the city of Memphis and the team, man, because obviously they're one of the teams that's never won a championship, and this is just another setback that they have to go through. Sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, and it's also like very untypical of Memphis because you think back like at least as long as we've been alive, they had like the Mike Conley, Marcus Gasol days where they were one of the best cultures in the NBA. Then they kind of hit a rebuild. They had like the David Fizdale years, and then they finally had Taylor Jenkins, and they were starting to turn it around with like Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson, John Morant, and it was like, oh, like this culture one has shown to just be a good culture, but two, it's also shown to develop players and like build them up, and then now we're seeing the Dylan Brooks shenanigans went on, and now like this John Morant stuff, and it's kind of like now Memphis and their coaching staff and all this stuff is getting like what I believe is unwarranted concerns and consequences.
For sure. Just it's a really just a shitty situation. You can't really put it any more than that.